Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another discussion about Sirah with Ustad Ikram Haq. Ustad Ikram is the author of the book Muhammad, son of Abraham, brother of Moses, successor of Jesus. Ustad Ikram, I have a couple of questions, like always, for this episode. My first question to you is, why did Abu Talib staunchly support and protect the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even though he was not a Muslim?
There are several reasons for that. Abu Talib is an uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, who had adopted the Prophet ﷺ or brought him in his own house when the Prophet ﷺ was 8 years old, and he was yatim in both senses. He had lost both of his parents and he never saw his father. So Abu Talib was a father figure to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ lived in his house for 17 years, from age 8 until age 25, when the Prophet ﷺ got married. And Abu Talib's wife, Fatima bint Asad, is also known to have deeply loved the Prophet ﷺ, preferring him over her own children. So there was so much love available for the Prophet ﷺ, and therefore he had very fond memories of growing up in the house of Abu Talib, and he too deeply loved his uncle Abu Talib. Now, when the Prophet ﷺ got married, he thought of ways of helping Abu Talib, because Abu Talib had a large family and he was not well-to-do. He was poor from those standards. So when famine struck Mecca, he went to another uncle, Abbas, and he said, "Your brother," meaning Abu Talib, has a large family and he's poor. Let us take in some of his sons to help him. So Abbas wholeheartedly agreed to this idea. So Abbas ended up taking into his household Jafar ibn Abi Talib, an older brother of Ali, and the Prophet ﷺ took in Ali radiallahu anh in his household. And later on, the Prophet ﷺ married his most beloved daughter Fatima to Ali. So you see the two-way love that they demonstrated, Abu Talib and his wife toward the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ reciprocating Abu Talib's kindness by adopting Ali and marrying his daughter Fatima to Ali radiallahu anh.
Thank you, Ustad Ikram. Viewers, as you can see, how a strong foundation, a family foundation of the Arab civilization helped Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam become the prophet, and he spread one of the world's best religion. I have one more question for Ustad Ikram, but before that, viewers, I have a request for you. Please subscribe to our channel, click to the bell icon, and open notification from our channel. Ustad Ikram, my next question is, can you discuss how Abu Talib's courage prevented Abu Jahl from eliminating the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his dawah?
So Abu Jahl and senior pagan leaders were trying very hard to suppress Islam and keep the Prophet ﷺ in check. But despite all of their efforts, Islam was still flourishing. And they went into a panic mode. So they went to the Prophet's uncle, Abu Talib, and told him that your nephew is cursing our gods and he's asking people to leave the religion of their forefathers. So do something about it. So Abu Talib was able to placate them, send them away. But then some days later, they came back to Abu Talib again. And they said that you better do something about your nephew, or else we will do something. And that was really a serious matter, because they were basically threatening. So Abu Talib sensed the heat and a coming rebellion from his own people. So he told the Prophet ﷺ that, "O son of my brother, have mercy on me and yourself. Lay not upon me a burden greater than I can bear." But basically, he was asking the Prophet ﷺ to stop preaching. And the Prophet ﷺ turned around and he said, "Oh, my uncle, by Allah, if they put the sun in my hand in one hand and moon in another, and ask me to cease and desist from preaching this message, I will not do so until Allah has made me victorious or I have died trying." And Abu Talib was shocked. He had never heard his nephew speak to him like that. And Abu Talib promised to him that, "Do as you please. I will never again ask you to stop preaching or forsake you because of it. And Abu Talib, as we would see, he lived by this promise. Now, as Islam continued to progress, the Quraysh came back to Abu Talib again. And this time they brought one of the sons of Walid ibn al-Mughira, and they said, we are bringing to you the most handsome young man in Mecca. And of course, the most handsome is the Prophet ﷺ, but they're exaggerating. They said to Abu Talib, keep this young man and give us your nephew. And Abu Talib became very upset. And he snapped at them and he said, do you want me to keep your son, feed him and fatten him, and give you my nephew so that you may kill him? He said, go do whatever you like, but I am not going to hand over Muhammad to you. So they went back, and then soon thereafter, they came with another ultimatum, and they said that we are going to start a social boycott of you and your tribe. We will not buy and sell from you, will not intermarry in your tribe. So Abu Talib did not flinch, and he said, okay, if that is what it is, then so be it. And he moved the Banu Hashim and Banu Abdul Muttalib to Shayd bin Abi Talib for 2 or 3 years. And it was a time of great hardship, but they did not bow down to the demands of the Quraysh. And we see that Abu Talib became the custodian, the protector of the Prophet ﷺ, and he did not compromise or sell himself out due to the Quraysh's promises or threats. And he did that until his last breath.
Excellent, viewers. As you can see, the strength of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's conviction for dawah and the strong pillar that his uncle Abu Talib provided for him to flourish were one of the few main reasons how Islam spread. This story and many other and these enlightening historical facts are defined in the book Muhammad, son of Abraham, brother of Moses, successor of Jesus, written by Ustad Ikram. You can get this book from Amazon. The link will be in the description of this video. Thank you so much, Ustad Ikram.
Thank you. And I will look forward to discussing more Seerah events, inshallah, with you next time.